Good morning. It is August the 16th, 2019. I am delighted to be here and happy to have you follow along. Would you agree that cryptocurrency traders need technical analysis as one of your top skills? If technical analysis is the most important skill for a Bitcoin trader, it's important to get pilot level skills at it. And that's what we're doing in this live stream. If you're interested in that, then click on the thumbs up button and subscribe. Let's jump past our disclaimer. This isn't trading advice, just market observation. And it's not how hard you work at trading, it's how consistently you work at trading. Grab your plan and work it. Practice every different part of it, and that's what this daily routine is for. We're going through 4 different main indicators on all of the different time frames just on Bitcoin. So we're starting off looking at the relative strength index of Bitcoin. You can see 3 weekly exhaustion wicks here, a big red candle. The RSI is easing off, and this is not good for the bulls. As we zoom into the 1-day view, we've been watching this divergence for quite some time, and then as we're coming down to these levels, it's getting really key. We haven't been down here for a while on the daily. And when we are down here, it's not good. If we're passing these levels, we're skipping down a bit. And I'm still looking at that $7,500 level, just eyeballing it from here using the basic support and resistance levels. And we're at such a key level right now that if we bounce off of here, it'll be pretty good because we are sort of on the trend line. We'll zoom in on that one as we're going. Let's look at the RSI. It was already showing divergence off of this top here. It was diverging before the top broke. Now it's pretty oversold here on the 12-hour time frame, but still room to go down and we can be hitting those levels. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. Now this is extremely oversold here. I was watching, was it Altcoin Daily? The guy who stands there with the microphone, and he goes, yeah, look at this. He was pointing out how oversold this 4-hour was. That's pretty extreme. And so it may be that we've hit a bottom here, and this could consolidate into a bit of a formation that will take us up from here. Let's zoom into the closer time frames to take a look at what's going on this rightmost side of the chart. As you'll recall, back in the end of July here, as we came down and bounced, all of our indicators were screaming up, up, up from here. There was 3 episodes in a row we were saying that everything is pointing up. It's crazy. Off we went all the way up here until July the 10th. I think this was. No, this is into August. So this is the July 10th. But here we had the peak in August, top formation. Our indicators, especially the MACD indicator, was telling us this is a top formation. The Ichimoku Cloud nailed this, and we'll see that here in the episode. Let's zoom into the next time frame, 4-hour. Zoom into the 1-hour time frame. We're actually having a bit of a bullish divergence here. It's all the way along, this was a bullish divergence. As we're coming down, the RSI was holding flat. That's a bullish divergence. Now that it's picked up a little bit, that's not so bad, so long as we don't break below these levels. 1-hour time frame, 15-minute. Does this give us any insights as to what's happening right now as we're slipping off this edge? Well, the uptrend line we can see has turned into resistance, not support, because we did slip just underneath it, depending on where you draw it. And now we can see that we have the 1, 2, 3 formations starting to shape up. 1, 2, 3 top formation here, a larger 1, 2, 3 here. If this breaks down below these levels, that's confirming some nested top formations, which would be a sell signal in the downtrend. And we'll see more of that from the Ichimoku Cloud as we get over to that one. Let's go to the next indicator. The next one we go through is the on-balance volume. We start off at the weekly view, and we're watching to see if there are divergences in the amount of volume coming in for each of these different tops. So far, it's easing off on this weekly. We go into the daily, we can see strong, nice and strong here, but weaker and weaker as we've went along, and sure enough, we're fading off the end. Now that we see this edge weakening off, I want to take a look and see if we get a divergence as we start zooming in on this. So far, not. So far, we have lower highs in the on balance volume as prices are sliding off right here. Let's zoom in more. Oh, more dumping and even more dumping going along here. We do have a little bit less dumping from this bottom to this bottom, but is that enough to slow it down and start giving us a direction change? I'm not thinking so. Let's zoom into the 1 hour time frame here. And from here, there's still lots of dumping going on. I don't see this as easing off enough or catching enough strength off of this side to stop this from going down. At least it's going to go sideways for a while and then establish, if we're going to turn around, in the 15-minute time frame. Dumping, not as much dumping here, but it's not all looking good. Let's go on to the MACD indicator. This is sort of my favorite indicator, and what we're looking at here is the weekly MACD indicator, waiting for it to see if it's going to cross over. Is it crossed over? And if this histogram goes to the negative, because in the last big uptrend, this did come back and almost cross. The histogram came very close, and this is on the weekly, so it stayed here for 2 or 3 weeks right on the edge, and then we went back up again. So this is why I'm watching this one so closely. Are we going to slip below? Is this actually crossed over here? The week isn't done, so this could still cross over before this weekly candle closes. And there's our weekly candle. That's pretty, it's not looking good at all for the bulls. And so there are short trade opportunities standing out here. There's money to be made. Doesn't matter which way the market's going. You just have to go with the market, trade with the big prevailing trend. And it's always easy to see the trend in hindsight, but there are specific things that the trend does when it ends. It'll break out of a parallel channel. It'll make a 1, 2, 3 formation. And when it breaks out of that parallel channel then becomes resistance. And it came up and retested that parallel channel, and off we're sliding. So now I want to start watching for parallel channels in the other direction and start to watch where prices are touching up against that parallel channel, and we get these breaks going here. 1 day view, we're supposed to be looking at the MACD indicator, and every time I go through this, I pull it back and remind myself that what happened with prices after this cross happened in the 1 day MACD. And we are seeing that cross now. Let me clean this up so we can see it. Move the chart over and zoom back in on it. We're seeing that same crossover happening, which would imply room for retests much lower. If we're following along what's going on last time, short trades are what's up right now. Let's go into the next one. So here we're looking at the crossover, and I've been talking about this one for a while. It's great to see them set up the 1, 2, 3 top formation, the 12-hour MACD crossover, and then it stayed crossed over all the way along. It's been the pissing off the roof pattern. Thanks again, Crypto Sniper. But as this is coming down, we just see it accelerating here. We go into the 4-hour time frame, then it gets a little bit more confusing because we did see the crossover here and it's recrossed to the positive. We've got a histogram coming to the positive. So if there is going to be support right along these levels, this is the first sign of it here. And let's go into the closer time frame. Okay, we had a bit of that, but the 1 hour is not really supporting what the 4 hour is saying. So the 4 hours got a bit of this, but I would anticipate, let's go back to the 4 hour and clear that off. I would say that the 4 hours is probably going to cross negative again, and we could almost just watch this chart and not the price. And as this crossed over to the negative, the price is going down. We'll be able to see it, and it'll be crossing these important levels, and it'll have momentum. It won't be pretty if you're holding long right now. Let's go into the closer time frame just to get a bit of an idea. It did cross and cross to the positive, but negative again here. So again, for me, the indicators help out, but it's always the 1, 2, 3 formation breaches. Once that pattern breaks, that is important. For me, it's way better than Fibonacci. It's way better than Elliott waves. It's actually a part of the Elliott wave, so I should say that. The 1, 2, 3 formation is the very last part of the Elliott wave. It's like the only part of the Elliott wave you actually really need to know, along with your risk control rules, and you're golden. So that's the MACD indicator. Now I'm going to go into the Ichimoku Cloud, which I was poo-hooing earlier and asking people, do you have another indicator we could suggest here? Because the MACD indicator isn't doing along what I think it should be doing. Let's go through now and see who is correct, the MACD or me. So in the weekly view, we've got lots of room. It's going to let us stay in this trade. Even if it comes back to the $6,700 level, it's all good. No problem, likely. We'll watch how that plays out. And we go into the 1 year view, we can see this has already crossed to the negative. We do have, where is this? Not quite crossed to the negative yet, but we have the flip of the cloud, and the green line has crossed both the blue and the red line there. So those are negative views, especially lined up with that top formation. But this isn't the view of the MACD that I find most, the Ichimoku Cloud that I find most helpful. If we go into the 12-hour view, we can see now that it has crossed over. The conversion line is crossed below the baseline. That's bearish. We do have a little wee twist to the bearish side. We have the green trailing indicator here crossing both the blue and the red. Bearish, bearish, bearish. Prices coming through the cloud onto the bearish side. All adds up to bearish on the 12-hour time frame. That's significant because as we go into the 4-hour time frame, we can see that it went bearish much earlier and crossed over. The blue line crossed under the red line. That's a bearish signal. The cloud twisted to negative. That's bearish. And as this trailing indicator cuts both the blue and the red, that's bearish. As we poke through the cloud, we're done. And that was just off of this little 1, 2, 3 top formation here. So we see the 1, 2, 3 setting up and the break. We see a larger 1, 2, 3 setting up and a break. Each of these are where you would stage into parts of your trade. Now I'm looking at the shorter term. Let's see, clean this all up and go into the 1-hour time frame, which is getting to be my favorite view of the Ichimoku Cloud because it was an early indicator here. It was breaking through, but I was still looking for bullish indication. All the way through here, I was definitely looking for a bullish indication. Even through here, I was looking for a bullish indication coming off of this and a continuation of the uptrend line that we were seeing. But as it faded off here, you can see the 1-hour Ichimoku just nailed it perfectly. Everything crossed over. It went through the cloud. It twisted back to the negative. The green line cut through both the red and the blue. And then we had these nice skinny cloud as we're going down, which means we're going fast. As it thickens up, we're going sideways. So we'll have to see how this plays out now because I've give a lot more credit to the Ichimoku Cloud. Let's zoom in on this. It has crossed more negative here. And so what this will indicate for us, as the blue line crossed over the red, the conversion line crossed over the baseline, as we've come up and touched the cloud, and then it's dropping out of there, this is a sell signal in a downtrend. Every time it comes up and touches the cloud and does that, it's a sell signal in a downtrend, just like this is a buy signal in an uptrend. Away from the cloud, between the two different lines, touches the cloud, the conversion line and the baseline uncrossed, then they recrossed positive. There's the buy signal in the uptrend. So it works the same way on the downtrend. This looks like a sell signal in the downtrend, especially if this green trailing line, damn hard to see, especially if it starts cutting both the blue and the red. We've already got the cross. This has to cross back to a negative. But it's all setting up there. Really amazing to see. Let's zoom in now to the 15-minute time frame. This gets a little bit more choppy for me, and it may verify what's going on in the 1-hour time frame. But once it goes through the cloud, we see we're going to chop sideways maybe, and the earlier clouds were thickening up and sort of verifying that we may be chopping sideways. I see prices are bouncing off of support here right now. So we'll see how this plays out over the day to come. And right now, this is the chart for Bitcoin dominance. It has topped out. We've got a 1, 2, 3 top formation. It's pulled back. Now it's retesting these levels, Should it break down here, then the alts are probably going to give us a whole bunch of buy signals all across the board. As it crosses below these levels, then we're going to get a whole nother level of altcoins giving us buy signals as they're breaking out of bottom formations. However, we're so close that if this trend continues and this breaks above the yellow line, then all of the alts are going to continue pulling back even more, and we're still inside this monster uptrend for Bitcoin dominance that started out back in April the 1st. And it's still continuing on. We're still well within it until this top formation breaks. Then we'll see what's going on with the altcoins. Let's go one more chart. Here's Bitcoin. This is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Here's the bottom formation I'm talking about, that should that Bitcoin dominance break, this will be one of the first to be breaking out of a bottom formation. Litecoin as well is in a potential bottom formation, and it's at historical levels, such important levels that if I go to the daily view, expand this chart out, look at where Litecoin is versus Bitcoin. Back in December is the last time in like forever that it's been down to these levels. If these digital currencies are going to change the world's economy, Litecoin is going to become very valuable. I think this is an incredible bottom formation that's setting up here and something to really pay attention to. I should be doing a live stream specifically on Litecoin and its indicators right now so that we could verify this breakout and see if there are already some divergences setting up in that. And that I'll do over on the IntroToCryptos live stream. That wraps it up here for today. I haven't looked over at the chat to see if I'm streaming on the right place, and I am not. I'm streaming on the wrong channel. So I'll wrap it up here for today and set myself a sticky note to double check that stream address because I have to switch it back and forth between each stream. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.